Somewhere around 100,000 years ago, a group of humans sat around a fire. Their bones looked like ours. Their brains were the same size as ours. And at some point, one of them made a sound and another one understood it. Not a grunt, not a scream, a word. The world changed in that moment, and we have been talking ever since. But here is the problem. No one was there to record it. Language does not leave fossils. You cannot dig up a conversation. So for a long time, scientists had almost nothing to go on. The question of how humans first began to speak was considered so unanswerable that in 1866, the Linguistic Society of Paris, a major scientific organization in France, actually banned papers on the subject. They said it was a waste of time. They were wrong. Because in the last few decades, researchers have found clues in an unexpected place, inside our bones, our genes, and even in the behavior of children alive today. Let's start with the body. Speaking is not simple. To make the sounds of human language, you need a very specific set of physical parts. The most important is the larynx. That is the structure in your throat that holds your vocal cords, the two small flaps that vibrate when you talk. In most animals, including chimpanzees, our closest living relatives, the larynx sits high in the throat. That position is actually safer. It means the windpipe and the food pipe do not cross, so the animal rarely chokes. But it limits the sounds they can make. In humans, the larynx sits much lower. That creates a long curved space above the vocal cords called the pharynx. Think of it as a resonating chamber, like the body of a guitar, where sound gets shaped into the full range of human vowels and consonants. This is why humans can produce sounds no other animal can match. But it is also why we are the only mammals that can easily choke to death on a piece of food. We traded a safety feature for the ability to speak. The question is when that shift happened. And this is where one very small bone becomes crucial. It is called the hyoid. It sits in the throat just above the larynx, and it anchors the muscles you use to speak. It is the only bone in the human body that does not connect to any other bone. And because it is bone, it can survive tens of thousands of years in the ground. In 1989, archaeologists working in Kibara Cave in what is now northern Israel found a hyoid bone from a Neanderthal. Neanderthals were a species closely related to modern humans who lived across Europe and Asia until they went extinct around 40,000 years ago. When researchers compared that ancient Neanderthal hyoid to a modern human hyoid, the shapes were almost identical. That was shocking. It suggested Neanderthals had the physical hardware for speech. Then in 2007, scientists made an even more surprising discovery. They analyzed DNA extracted from Neanderthal fossils and found that Neanderthals carried a version of a gene called FOXP2. In humans, FOXP2 is sometimes called the language gene, though that label is a simplification. What it actually does is help control the precise muscle movements needed for speech. Children born with a damaged version of FOXP2 struggle to form words clearly and have real trouble understanding grammar. Finding it in Neanderthals suggested their brains and throats were partly wired for something like language. But here is where it gets complicated. Modern humans, the species we belong to, Homo sapiens, appeared in Africa roughly 300,000 years ago. Fossils found in Morocco in 2017 confirmed this. Yet for hundreds of thousands of years after that, there is almost no sign of the complex symbolic thinking that language usually brings with it. No cave paintings, no jewelry, almost no tools beyond very basic ones. Then something shifted. Starting around 100,000 years ago, in Africa, small clues begin appearing. People started drilling holes in shells to make beads. They began grinding a red mineral called ochre into pigment and applying it in ways that suggest symbolic meaning, maybe decoration, maybe ritual. By 40,000 years ago in Europe, the change was undeniable. Cave sites like Lascaux in southern France were covered in paintings of horses, bison, and deer, done with genuine skill. Something had turned on in human behavior. Many researchers believe that something was fully developed language. One influential theory about why language developed comes from a British evolutionary scientist named Robin Dunbar. He noticed that in primates, animals living in large social groups spend enormous amounts of time grooming each other, picking through each other's fur. This grooming now is not just about hygiene. It builds trust. It holds the group together. But grooming takes a long time, and you can only groom one animal at once. As early human groups grew larger, grooming alone could not maintain all those social bonds. Dunbar proposed that language evolved to replace grooming, that the first real conversations were a form of social maintenance, a way to bond with many people at once and from a distance. Gossip, in other words, may be one of the oldest uses of language. Other researchers argue the roots go even deeper, and that language began as gesture rather than sound. Brain scans show that the region controlling hand movements in monkeys closely corresponds to the language processing area in human brains. And in human babies today, gesture and speech develop together. Babies point before they talk. Pointing, some scientists argue, was the first word. But perhaps the most striking evidence does not come from ancient fossils at all. It comes from a school in Nicaragua in the 1970s. Before that time, deaf people in Nicaragua had no shared sign language. Each person communicated privately within their own family using their own invented gestures. Then the Nicaraguan government opened the first school specifically for deaf children, and something extraordinary happened. The children, thrown together for the first time, began combining their different home gestures. They started creating a shared system. A language was being born live in front of researchers. Linguists who studied what became known as Nicaraguan Sign Language watched it develop in real time across generations. Each new wave of younger children added more complexity. They introduced grammar. They created rules. The older students had a rough system. The younger ones made it precise. It was, in miniature, a replay of how language develops among any isolated human community. That case confirmed something scientists had long suspected. Language is not simply taught from adult to child. It erupts from human contact. Given any group of people, particularly children, language will appear. The human brain seems to come ready for it. So what do we actually know about the origin of the first spoken words? The honest answer is that we do not know exactly. The evidence suggests a long, gradual process that may have started 200,000 years ago or earlier, accelerating through periods of growing social complexity and symbolic thinking, and reaching something resembling modern language somewhere between 100,000 and 50,000 years ago. The debate continues. What is not debated is this. Every language spoken on Earth today, all estimated 7,000 of them, from Mandarin Chinese to Swahili to the languages of small communities deep in the Amazon, all of them share deep structural features. All have ways to name things and describe actions. All can discuss the past and the future, and all can talk about things that do not exist yet, possibilities, plans, warnings, stories. That last ability may be the most important thing language ever gave us. A lion sees a lion. A human can warn someone about a lion that is around a corner they have not yet turned. That one shift, the ability to share what you know about something not present, changed what human groups could do together. Today, every conversation you have is the result of millions of years of evolution, a long period of slow physical change, and one pivotal chapter in our history when the human mind crossed some threshold and never came back. Whether that crossing was a single genetic mutation, a gradual cultural buildup, or some combination of both, researchers still argue. Whether Neanderthals truly had language and what happened to it when they disappeared, we do not yet fully know. What is certain is that right now, You are doing something no other species on this planet does in quite this way. You are turning air into meaning. And so was your ancestor, 10,000 generations back, sitting by a fire in Africa, trying to explain something to someone who mattered.